2, 1. Ready.
Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. In crowd, 815. 815.
You probably don't know this, but you're going to know it now. It is illegal to own only one guinea pig in Switzerland. If you own guinea pigs, Tom, you have to own at least 2. My name's Greg. He's Tom. This is your In Crowd 815 podcast for the second day of August, the year 2025, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind. The reason why is because they couldn't call them guinea pigs if you only had one. Besides that, they have to populate Switzerland or whatever you said it was. And you can't do that with just one. They're not self-reproducing.
It's considered cruelty. They're social animals. They need to have a buddy. They need to have a friend. And
I love it. When I was a kid, we had a guinea pig. And it was me. Here, Tom, try this.
Guinea pigs are so cute. They're so cute.
They really are. They're adorable. And I hate that they're in the rodent family, because rodent is one of the worst words in the English language. But you know what? I love squirrels. And they're considered rodents.
I love squirrels.
Are raccoons considered rodents? I think they are.
I would guess possibly. I'm not sure though.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got some business to take care of. We got some great guests. So if the person that you want to, watch this live with is still sleeping, give them a little nudge and say, "Hey, Greg and Tom are talking. It's In Crowd 815 time." We're going to hear all about growth dimensions in Boone County with Pamela Lopez-Fettes and Dr. Katie Thomas, who's a professional career coach and podcast host with BetterWorkExperience.com. But our first guest coming up next is with the Special Olympics in Illinois. We're going to learn all about that from Susan Kuborn. But first, we need to take care of this. Our big number of the week this week, our current race to 10 has me in the lead by a score of 2-1. And our big number this week, it's a big one. It's 495 billion. That's with a B, my friends. 495 billion. And is the answer popcorn or chips? I'm usually a alliteration guy. Usually my guesses are words that start with the same letter. But this one just felt right to say popcorn or chips.
Well, it's with football season coming up. Hey, I mean, come on now.
Maybe it has something to do with football.
Otherwise, it could have been chop corn. Or well, you could have done corn or chips. That's alliteration.
That's true. I could have done that.
Popcorn then.
But anyway, there's
I already sent you mine. So
we'll give you the answer before the end of the show. So stick around. Our first guest this week has been involved in all things Special Olympics Illinois and has even done some. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a gold medalist in our midst this week for the very first time ever in 13 years almost of doing this show. We've got a gold medalist on the show today. Her name is Susan, and she's joining us from her, I don't know where from. So we're going to find out. Good morning, Susan. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Wonderful.
We are
Thanks
wonderful.
All right. So are you in the Rockford area? Where are you from, Susan?
I'm from Rockford, Illinois.
You're a Rockfordian. Okay. And did you grow up here all your life?
Yeah, I've grown up here pretty much all my life.
Awesome. And where did you go to school? We'd like to learn about our guests before we get into all the things of their organization. So what school did you attend? What schools?
I attended Guilford High School. So G-Vikes all the way.
Go Vikings. All right. And then following school, you got involved in a lot of different things. So tell us a little bit about yourself. What does Susan like to do outside of being out of school now?
I love competing in Special Olympics. I run a 5K with my cousin's husband through Ramp. It's our fourth one this year. So very excited about that.
Down by the Rock River, right?
Yeah.
That'll be a big event. I think is that coming up next month or is that this month?
That's this month. It's the 16th of this month.
Yeah. So we're like 2 weeks away from the big 5K for ramp. I'm guessing people could still sign up for that if they wanted to participate in that.
Yeah.
Check that out. Ramp does a lot of great events. We really like what Ramp does here in the area. And then anything else that you like to do for hobbies or fun? What's a fun day in Susan's life when she gets a chance to do some stuff that she wants to do?
Pretty much help cooking, cleaning around the house, playing video games when I have time.
Okay, you got a favorite video game?
I pretty much play Fortnite with a high school buddy of mine.
You're a Fortnite gal.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish I could ask you something relevant to Fortnite, but I have no clue.
I can. How much is a fortnight? 2 weeks.
That part I would have guessed.
I know. We've probably had that as a trivia question. Susan, did you ever play Pac-Man? Did you ever play what's the other one? Like Donkey Kong, some of the old standards. I know you're not that old. You can't be that old. So you probably have
No,
never
I'm
played Pac-Man, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I've actually heard of Pac-Man. I've played it kind of, but it kind of frustrates me because, I'm not that good at Pac-Man.
Well, there was a pattern, and I can still remember the pattern. Go this way, up, over. I can still remember the pattern. I got pretty good at it. And so that was my go-to game. But other than that, I can't do video games. It messes with my head. It really just all video games do, and I don't like them. So
The only video game I really got into, and maybe was too much into for a while, was a game called Jack and Daxter. And it was like I want to say it was like a 9-level game. Was it 9 or 16 levels? I forget how many levels it was, but it took so long to master that. There was all these different eggs you had to collect, but it was a like a reward game. So, you had levels to complete, big bad ogre things to kill so you could get to the next level. And I got a little too into that game for a while. I played that way too late at night for the job that I had at the time. So yeah, no more of that stuff. But anyway,
they're just, in my opinion, they're just big time wasters. Now, Susan, I don't know. I mean, maybe that's your thing. It could be your hobby. It's not my hobby. So for me, it's a time waster. For you, it's entertainment. It's fun. So God bless you. You go for it.
like a movie. Yeah, like a movie, like something fun to do. That's cool. What were you already thinking about competing in Special Olympics while you were in high school, or when did that all come about for you?
I actually joined Special Olympics in 2002.
2002.
Because my aunt has 3 other people that were involved, so she wanted to get me involved as well.
Okay.
So at that time, I was 11 when I joined.
All right. So what an 11-year-old Susan, what were your competing categories? What were you competing in at the time?
So when I first joined, I was doing basketball, track and field, softball, bowling, and then I eventually quit softball because I got hit in the jaw with a softball. Yeah, and so then I dropped bowling. So now I just do basketball and track. So that's all I really do right now.
If you don't mind me asking, how tall are you?
I've been told I'm 5'9", then I've been told I'm 6 foot, so I don't know which one I am.
Okay, well, I could tell it appeared that you're kind of tall, so that's cool. So I was just telling Greg off the air, taller people can run because they have a longer stride. So that's probably to your benefit, right?
Yeah.
Made you a good runner. Now, I got a video to show, and I wanted you to explain what this video was, because it appears to me that this was probably a pretty monumental day in your life when people showed up at your house and announced to you that you had qualified for something. Can you tell us about this day in your life?
This actually was my head coach. She came to my house. I had been nominated for athletics in 2018 for USA Games in Seattle, and I literally about cried because I didn't know I was going, and it was very exciting for me.
So they come to your door and they let you know that you had qualified to compete in the USA
The
Special
USA,
Olympics.
yeah, USA Games in Seattle, Washington, 2018.
So by that time, you had been competing for, gosh, 16 years, 15 years, 16 years in different events over the years.
Yeah, 'cause, I've been doing this for 23 years.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
and when you qualified, I only got to the fringe of what you did, so I don't know a lot about what you did. What events were you qualified to do at this Olympic Games for in 2018?
So I did the 100-meter run, a 4x100 relay, running long jump, and a mini javelin.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And how did you do? How did the Seattle Games go for you?
Came away with 3 silver and a 6th place ribbon.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. And because of those games, because of your competing at the Seattle Games, is that when you qualified to go to the world events?
Actually, yeah, because 3 of our coaches that were our athletic coaches for those games, they had like, like a coaches meeting to decide, who were the 2 they thought deserved to go, who showed the best attitude, who showed the best sportsmanship. And then I found out, I think a couple weeks after I got back from the games that, I was nominated for Abu Dhabi.
That had to be emotional too when they let you know that you were qualified to go to the World Games and you had to get to travel across the globe.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
How did you feel about that? Were you kind of used to traveling by then that you were excited to go, or was it a little bit scary?
I was excited about traveling. Was really looking forward to, like we trade pins with other like states, countries when we go to these games. So I was like, oh, maybe World Games will be the same as USA Games where I'll get a lot of pins, but the pin trading wasn't as, you
Yeah.
know,
Different cultures and such.
yeah, they were more like wanting the stuff that we were wearing, and it's like, kind of need this because
Yeah, kind of
I
need
need
it.
it for,
So,
like closing ceremonies and all that. You can have it
yeah.
after, but I'm kind of don't have another shirt on to like give it to you.
So when your plane is descending down into Abu Dhabi, what are your thoughts? So you're looking out the windows going, "Oh my God, they got some of the biggest buildings in the world." Was it
Well, I
just
actually
incredible?
didn't see any of that because it was like I was kind of sleeping because I wasn't used to their time and our time. It took me a
Well,
little
yeah.
bit to adjust to everything.
That is tough. That's quite the jet lag, whatever you want to call it, to adjust to being in another country. Because it's one thing to fly from Rockford to Seattle and change your clock by a couple hours. That's not too big
Mhm.
of a deal. But to go on the other side of the globe and change by
Yeah.
almost what, probably 9 or 10 hours, something like
I
that.
was 9 hours ahead
nine
of
hour difference.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
how much time did you have to adjust before you had to start competing in Abu Dhabi? Were you there for like 2 or 3 days?
We were I'm trying to remember because that was back in 2019.
A while ago.
It was like 6 years ago. It's hard to believe.
Right, right.
But yeah, I think I adjusted pretty well. I think it took me like a day or two, and then I was like adjusted and reared and ready to like go out, meet other countries, and see what competition was like.
So you get to the Olympic Games in Abu Dhabi and you get adjusted to the time and you're kind of like, okay, I'm in this different country. Did the environment feel a lot different? Was it a different climate? Do you remember feeling strange, or did it feel kind of normalized to you as far as the weather and the climate when you were there? Do you remember?
It was different because coming from here we were like in winter, and then they're like kind of their mix of spring and summer, so I'm like, oh, I'm kind of already used to this because we go through that here.
And do you remember how many athletes were at the games in Abu Dhabi, or how how big of a competition it felt? Did it feel very similar to the Seattle games, or was it even bigger?
I feel like it was a little bigger because we had, different countries. Like, there was like so many different, like countries from other that like athletes were competing in other sports and
Yeah. Did you make any lasting friendships, like people that you might email or text or call today, years later, a couple years, whatever, how long it's been?
I mean, yeah, I used to stay in touch with a couple of the people that I went to like World Games and all that, but I haven't really talked to any of them in a while.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty exciting to go to leave the country for any reason, let alone to go and compete in an Olympic game. So that had to be a really special experience. I want to bring up the website here for your organization, for Special Olympics Illinois. And we're a community for champions across Illinois, the birthplace of the global Special Olympics movement, right here in Illinois. And what can you tell us about your involvement now with the organization? Are you still competing at all, or now are you part of the helping of the organizing of the games?
No, I'm actually still a competing athlete.
Okay. So what's next on your calendar here for the next season of Special Olympics games?
I'm actually not back until basketball season, which is in October, so I don't start anything until October.
Okay. And is the basketball team something that is working out in Northern Illinois? Where do you gather to practice with your teammates?
We practice at First Free Church.
So you're right here in Rockford.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice. Good
Spring
deal.
Creek and Mulford. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, so are you so you're into basketball? Do you watch the WNBA at all?
No, unfortunately, I don't.
Oh, okay. So you're familiar though with Caitlin Clark, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with her.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about that whole situation? They kind of treat her poorly, don't they?
Well, what I hear on the news, yeah, but
Yeah.
otherwise,
She's just so good. She's just so good.
She's such an ambassador for women's basketball, and they do kind of treat her poorly. So I went out and bought you can't see it because we're not on the full screen, but I went out and bought a Caitlin Clark jersey. So I just thought it was cool.
Well, we have the website up here on the screen, and I wanted to make sure that people saw how to either get involved in some way, shape, or form. So if you want to be an athlete, there's a link to go to, it says play with us. In fact, you know what? Let me put this in the chat really quick so people can find this very easily. You can go to soill.org. And if you're watching this morning live on Rumble, YouTube, or Facebook, you can go click on that link real quick. If you're on the Spotify, you'll have to type it in yourself because it doesn't show up in the chat there. But for those who want to compete, is there something special that people have to do to sign up to try to compete in the Special Olympics? What is the process of becoming a Special Olympic athlete?
so on our website where it says become an athlete, there's a form that they can fill out, and then it will decide, it'll decide say you're from, say I'm from region A, but someone's from like B or C, then they would, apply, and then I think a coach or someone gets a hold of them, and then they would go compete with that region.
Okay, because there's like 6 or 7 or 8 different regions across Illinois. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, I think we just got a J or something, or H or something like that. I don't know. We have so many regions since I joined.
So here's the form. Again, this is all on the website, soill.org. Sports offered including equestrian, flag football, floor hockey, golf, powerlifting, rhythmic gymnastics, snowshoe. Look at that. Soccer, softball, swimming. There's all these different things you can compete in. It's a lot of different
I
things.
would imagine the snowshoe thing would be like cross country skiing.
I wonder. Yeah. That's interesting. So there's a lot of different ways to participate. And if someone wants to volunteer, there's a link on here to also sign up to be a volunteer. Volunteers are needed to help all these events. I know in years past, we've had these events taking place at Harlem High School. Is that still the case in Rockford or in the Rockford area?
Yeah, that's where our region spring games is at Harlem High School.
Okay.
But like for the volleyball tournament, that actually switched from Harlem. I forget where it's at because I don't play volleyball.
I wonder if they moved that down to the sports factory now that they have that big facility down by the river.
Yeah, I think they did. Yes.
Yeah, that would make sense to me to use that facility because it's nice and big and it's beautiful.
So what other sports could you compete in? You're obviously a runner and you're a basketball player. What else could you compete in? I bet you could compete in volleyball. You'd probably be pretty good at it.
Yeah, there's volleyball, there's softball, there's golf. I think we're picking up bags. We have bocce, soccer. There's like so many different equestrian. But yeah, there's a lot of different sports you could definitely get involved in.
Which one would you
Bowling.
pick? If you could pick one more, they said, "Hey, we need you for one more sport." Which one would you pick?
I would definitely love to give volleyball a try, but
All right.
you know,
Well, there's a
I
lot
bet
of
you they'd love to have you.
yeah, right. It's good to have a nearly 6-footer on the team for sure. There's a lot of different ways to plug in as a volunteer for Special Olympics. If you've been watching here on the screen, there's a lot of specialized roles that are needed. Obviously, judges and officials and referees and coaches and such. But even if you just want to plug in for event day itself, being a part of the event staff, put in 4 or 5 hours and help check people in, all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of different roles needed to make sure that these events go off without a hitch. So if you have time to volunteer and want to check out the opportunities, again, check out soill.org and click on that volunteers tab. Check out all the different ways that you can help with Special Olympics. And you said you're coming up here in October. Is that competition, or is that when is the next competition on the calendars that you have, Susan?
So for me, I think my next competition won't be until, like I said, whenever we start basketball. I don't find out until I get the calendar when we have, events.
Okay.
Like
Well,
I just recently got ours, and next competition, but I'm not in it, would be our bowling tournament, which is August 16th through the 17th, and that is at Cherry Bowl. So if anybody wants to come out and check out our athletes, compete or volunteer for that event, we would gladly love them to come volunteer because we are always looking for volunteers.
here it is right here. Volunteers are needed for the annual Region A bowling competition at the Cherry Bowl, August 16th and 17th. Again, that's all on the events tab as well. So follow along with the Special Olympics Illinois Region A, our region up here in Northern Illinois. And we've got the link there in the chat, so you can go right easily to it, one click, and jump right in onto your Facebook page and follow along. So awesome. Is there anything else, Susan, that you were hoping we would ask you about this morning that we can talk about before we move on and try some trivia with Tom and our next guests? Anything we didn't ask you about today that you wanted to make sure we talked about?
Well, like, is there anything you want to know? Like, is there any programs you want to know that some of us athletes are involved in? Like, I'm involved with Athlete Leader. So I'm an athlete leader spokesperson. So we go around and we give speeches to people out in the community. We have gratitude team where we make phone calls to our donors and thank them. Another thing is we August I think it's 7th. A friend of mine is we have the thing up in Chicago. It's called Duck Derby.
Never heard of that. What's the duck derby?
Well, my friend would be able to explain it better. It's where they sell ducks
Okay.
to
Where these three little guys get together and they race.
yeah. Tom
There,
gets
see?
it. Tom gets it. Tom gets it. So,
There you go. There you go.
but yeah, if you can adopt a duck, and there's 3 different prizes for the Duck Derby.
Okay. That must be something to dump in the river, hey? Like one of those duck race things, maybe?
Yeah, it kind of is.
You get a straw and you blow on it to get your duck going. Susan, I was going to ask you one quick question. What is a typical day like for you? You wake up, eat breakfast, then do you go to work? How many hours a week or a day do you work? Do you like sit at a desk?
I actually don't have a job. I
Oh,
make the
okay,
joke
no.
that I make the
You
joke
do.
that
I'm
special
sorry to
things
interrupt. You
kind
do
of
have a
job.
job. You're a spokesperson and all of that, and that's a very, very important function. So don't discount yourself because you help a lot with stuff like that. I know because um, that type of stuff is very, very necessary, and organizations don't function unless people on the grassroots are making the phone calls and actually getting the ball rolling. So you have a job. You're more important than you know. Let's
That's
leave it
right.
at that.
Wanted to bring up one more thing too. I noticed that you guys have a big event coming up in September, and that's right down the road from us in Rochelle. Your Region A golf outing coming up on Thursday, September 18th at the beautiful Fairways Golf Course in Rochelle. It's a great place. Registration 12 o'clock shotgun start, $400 per team, $100 per golfer, and you can register your foursome or sponsor a hole at the link there that's shown on the screen, bit.ly/Region A Golf Outing 25. All proceeds for this going to benefit the Special Olympics of Illinois. Katie's running that. She's got her email address and phone number there on the screen. And Rochelle, like I said, that golf course, it's a beautiful course. It's very flat. There's no hills at the Rochelle Fairways Golf Course. It's very flat, but it's a wonderfully lots of trees, a few hazards here and there, but it's a nice place to go. So.
All right, Greg. So if you want to get the foursome back together, let me know. I'm gonna join. I'm gonna sign up. I'll get Ron. I'll get Matt. And if you want to go, that's fine. Otherwise, I can replace you.
It'd be a fun day. Have you golfed much at all, Susan?
No, I've never golfed.
No. Do you think you'll be at this event though?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Come on
Okay.
now. We want to meet you and say hi and shake your hand. I'm going to be there. I'm putting it on my mental calendar right now. I'm going to be there. I will get 4 people.
All right.
Greg, I'll talk you into it. Don't worry.
All right, Susan. Well, we really appreciate you spending time with us. We're going to do a little trivia transition and bring on our next guests, and all together, we're going to see if we can score some points against Tom's trivia challenge for this week. All right, Mr. Warner, we'll put you center square.
All right, here you go. I'm going to give you the answers real quick. Did you get them?
Why do
you got really, really good vision. You could have gotten some answers.
Good morning, ladies. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning.
Did you know you were in trivia? Did Greg warn you ahead of time?
No.
No. Oh, I'm so sorry.
I heard somebody else told me before Greg mentioned it.
Yeah, okay, good. These aren't difficult, but sometimes they're going to make you think. And you play as a team. And the rule is that Greg lets everybody else guess first, and then if he knows it, he can chime in.
I break rules all the time.
Okay. He does break rules all the time, and it's okay. It's to your benefit if he does. All right. We start off with define the theory of relativity. No, I'm kidding. We start off with which came first. All right. Actor, politician, bodybuilder Arnold Schwarzenegger. He just had a birthday. Was he born before or after Arnold Palmer won his first major tournament? Basically, what came first? The birth of Arnold Schwarzenegger, or Arnold Palmer winning his first tournament, his first major tournament?
That's a really good question. That's a very good question because it probably happened within the same 5 or 6 year period.
I'm thinking about giving you a slight hint, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Because Arnold Palmer probably won his first tournament, his first major. Would it have been early 60s or mid 60s? Somewhere in the 60s anyway. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was probably born. Where 50s. Was he born? Do you think he was born in the 50s? Is he that old?
Could be. I don't know.
I don't know.
In Austria, we know that.
What do you think came first? The birth of Schwarzenegger or the Arnold Palmer first major win?
I'm thinking Schwarzenegger. What about you guys?
The birth of Schwarzenegger.
I would be very safe in going with that guess.
There we go.
Okay, is that your final answer? I'll do it like Regis Philbin. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yeah. Schwarzenegger born in 1947. Whoa. Arnold Palmer's first major was 1958, the Masters.
Okay.
So you were spot on, Greg. That's good.
Good job, Pam.
Very good.
Yeah,
All right, here we go. Birds. Kiwi birds are only found in the wild in which country? Before you answer, let me give you two options. Australia or New Zealand.
Yeah.
Once again, kiwi birds.
Do I need to raise my hands?
No, just blurt it out.
We're working as a team, Katie. So we're on.
New Zealand.
Yeah, blurt it out.
I think. Okay, so I have never. Yeah, so New Zealand.
New Zealand is correct. And the funny thing is, Greg, I almost heard you start saying Australia.
When I did skydiving down in Rochelle at the Chicagoland Skydive Center, my jump professional was from New Zealand, and they called him Kiwi. They called They called the guys from New Zealand Kiwis, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. He's a bird. He jumps out of planes.
Well, yeah, birds can jump out of planes. Humans shouldn't.
Yeah, it was fun.
One day I will jump out of a perfectly good airplane.
I would rather jump out of an airplane again with a professional strapped to my back with a parachute than bungee.
Then fly Delta? No, I'm just kidding.
I did not enjoy bungee jumping as much as I enjoyed jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. So
I've done it twice.
Awesome.
No, I've never done it. And just like Susan, I have. Well, she's been out of the country. I did go to Canada. We went to the Canada side of Niagara Falls. That's it. She's been to Abu Dhabi. That's pretty good. I don't even know how to spell it. Yabba dabba doo. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is an acronym. With regards to governmental agencies, what does HUD stand for? What does HUD stand for? Go ahead.
Housing Urban Development.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Housing and Urban Development. Very good.
Housing and Urban Development.
We are 3-0. Very good.
3 for 3.
3 for 3. Very good. Very good. All right. Here we go. Slogans. What fast food chain once used the slogan, "Think outside the bun"?
Oh no.
I want to say Burger King.
That sounds like something like Taco Bell would have said or something. Why have burgers when you can have tacos? But I don't know if it was Taco Bell, if it was another taco place.
Can I just say one thing? Let me stop you right there. What is your final answer here?
I agree with Greg. I think it's Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Yep.
Woo!
All right. You know what? You guys are on your way. I believe we got 4.
4 in a row. 4 in a row.
Here we go. What geyser in Yellowstone National Park is known for erupting roughly every 90 minutes?
Anybody seen it? I've seen it. Ever been out there?
I can't remember off the top of my head, though.
Is it Old Faithful?
It is.
Oh,
It is.
About every 90 minutes, that thing goes off.
I don't want to put the pressure on you, but you got 5 in a row. Last week, We had our first ever 7-0. Will we do it today?
Wow.
All right. I don't know if any of you remember the TV show Malcolm in the Middle. What is the first name of Bryan Cranston's character on the TV show? It's not Walter White. That's Breaking Bad. Was it Walter White? I think it was. Anyway, what is the first name of Bryan Cranston's character on the TV series Malcolm in the Middle?
I
Help!
never saw it.
Help! I never watched it.
I never
mean-
watched it either. Don't feel bad.
I've seen it. I saw it. Not a lot of it. I mean, is it Malcolm? I mean, I'm just throwing.
Malcolm-
That was the middle
son.
son.
Oh, so the older brother? Is it the older?
No,
brother?
no.
The dad's name.
He was
Was it
the
the dad?
Yeah.
Oh,
Bryan Cranston played
was it
the
the dad's name?
dad.
Was it Hal?
It is Hal.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh.
As
Now,
soon as he said it, I was like, "That's it."
okay, very good, very good. I will not knock you on the points because I didn't technically give you an answer. What I did was I gave you clarification. So,
That's
I mean,
right.
I didn't give you a hint because you
Go ahead.
weren't sure if, you know. Anyway, we're all good. We're 6-0.
Way to go.
One final question. And I am going to give you leeway on this one. Within 10, one way or the other. I'm the
All
trivia
right.
guy. I get to do it. I get to make the rules.
For all the sand in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, all the sand and all the buildings in Abu Dhabi. By the way, Susan, you should post pictures of Abu Dhabi. I'd love to see it. Post it on the website. But anyway, okay. How many episodes of Friends aired? And I will give you a hint. It ran for 10 seasons. So you can kind of do the math on this one. Maybe. Some shows go 15 episodes. Some shows go 25 episodes. Some go 20. So that's not a really good hint, but at least it gives you some sort of a starting point. How many episodes of Friends aired? And you have 10 either way. So let's say it was 100. You could go 110 or 90, and it's more than 100. I'll just say that.
10 seasons, and they did at least 20 shows per season, and it might have been 22 or 24 per season. If so, it's got to be close, somewhere in the range of 200. I just don't know how close it is.
I think it's in the 300s. I was a major
Oh.
Friends watcher.
Ooh, because if it was
I think it's in-
24, 25 per season, they probably did some special episodes. Oh gosh. Here's the thing. My daughter, my oldest daughter, I have 6 kids, by the way. My oldest daughter was a Friends super fan. She owns the DVDs. She's got them all.
Yeah.
She would know the answer to this question. Phone a friend.
Go ahead, phone a friend.
I know. I want to say like 324, but that's so specific. I don't know why that number's coming to me.
Atlas, do you know the answer? Can you help us?
Are you phoning your friend?
Atlas, how many? Come on, Atlas. You got to know. You watch Friends, right?
You got to speak his language.
Atlas jumped off the balcony in our house. We have a great room in our house. We have a 2-story house. I don't know if Atlas and Kelso over there were fighting, but all of a sudden I'm sitting watching TV on the couch in the living room of the great room, and out flies Atlas over the balcony and lands on the floor next to the coffee table.
Wow.
That crazy. You know how close you came to hitting the coffee table and ending it all? Crazy cat.
Okay, so I'm thinking closer to maybe like 200 and something. Maybe not as many as 300.
Yeah, because if it was 10 seasons, 300 would be 30 episodes
I
per
think it's pretty
season.
safe in the 250 range. I just don't know how
Yeah.
close it is.
I'm going to say I would say 243.
I like that guess. 243 or 245 right in there. Let's lock it in. What do you say?
Either one gets you the victory. 236. 236.
Yay.
We have 2 7-0s in a row. 2 in a
Wow.
row. Woohoo!
Now you might not. We've
I
been
wish I
doing
had a
this
way to
for months.
celebrate.
Ladies, we've been doing this for months, and we've had a lot of 4-pointers and 5-pointers and even a few 6-pointers. He gave us 6.5 one week just because we got really close with one. But this is pretty rare that we've gotten 7 twice
2
in
in
a
a row.
row. That's pretty special. So
I'm glad we
Note
got the
to
most
self.
stressful part of this interview overdone.
Yeah. Note to
The
self,
trivia.
make questions harder
Done.
next week.
Oh, he's
Anyway.
going to make it harder next week. Sorry, guests. Let's see. Who do we got next
Well,
week?
no, that's very good. It was very good. You got them all.
We got Xavier. We got Xavier and Addie coming on next week. They're going to help me. You're going to help me get at least 6 points, if not 7. So we'll be good.
Xavier and Eddie.
The
That sounds
Tommy
like a
Cole
wine.
Memorial Foundation, and then Barnstormer Distillery, which is hosting our next.
Oh, okay. So we're close. It is kind of like a wine. I remember
That's
them.
right.
They've been on before.
That's right. That's right. Return guests. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Someone
right.
needs to reboot, so we'll let her off. Susan, we want to thank you so much for carving out your time this morning to be a part of our podcast and share with us about all things Special Olympics. We've got, again, the link in the chat. So anyone that's been following along on Rumble, YouTube, or Facebook can easily click on the link and check out all things Special Olympics Illinois, specifically Region A, our area up here in Northern Illinois. And we wish you all the best in your future competitions.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciated being a part of your guys' podcast. And
Well, we
Look forward to
appreciate you and the work you do.
Yes. Thanks for all that you're doing to support Special Olympics and spreading the word. All right. You have a great rest of your weekend.
yep, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, I've got a big banner to throw on the screen here. I think maybe Pam can. Oh, Pam must be having Wi-Fi issues because she just went on and off again and on and are rebooting the Wi-Fi. But anyway, Economic Development Organization of the Year official silver winner in 2024, Growth Dimensions, in Belvedere and Boone County, and we're ready to learn all about what you do. Pam, and Dr. Katie's joining us as well because Dr. Katie's involved in the founder of the Better Work Experience. And I know you have a passion for helping these businesses. I was going to say new businesses, but any business be their best business. So we want to tie that all together somehow and help Boone County experience a boon, a growth, something awesome. So let's get started with you, Pam. Tell us about yourself. Where did you grow up and go to school? Let's start there.
Okay. Well, I grew up in the Chicago area near west suburbs, and then basically raised my family here. So I've been in Boone County for 23 years now, but loving it.
And what was the catalyst that actually brought you to Boone County? Why did you move here?
Well, actually, it was more of a family reason. I met my husband who lived out here, and he had a bigger home, so I moved out here.
Awesome.
We raised our family. You know, we bought a farm. That didn't work out, so I was thinking about going back to Chicago area when this job came, and it just seemed to be a perfect fit. And my kids really didn't want to leave, and so we decided to stay.
I hear you. Love kept me in Northern Illinois too. It's all about the family, all about my wife. And so for people who have never heard of Growth Dimensions before, when you meet someone for the first time and they ask you Growth Dimensions, what's that all about? What is your in a nutshell description of what Growth Dimensions does?
So our organization is really just committed to carrying out the mission to attract and grow businesses and partnerships. And but we do this in partnership with both the local and regional stakeholders, and that includes the private and public sector. We're basically that first point of contact for all businesses, and we're really involved in every facet of your community. So I think a lot of people don't understand really our role in the community. We attract these opportunities to bring jobs, to bring infrastructure, and to bring another tax base to offset some of the costs that the taxpayers have. And so that's not all the burden on the residents here. It's also, the resources help support roads, infrastructure, fire, police, and it just is really, like I said, we're involved in every aspect of the community because we have to have something to market. We want a great quality of life. We want a great program. I'm going to repeat what a former mayor had said. We don't want to be Schaumburg, but we want to have that balance of growth and that quality of life that we all love, but we don't want the burden to be on the residents as well.
Right. And that's a big deal. I mean, that's a hot topic of conversation for everybody these days, I think, is and has been for a long time. Is just the tax situation that we have here, and how can we make things more business friendly? Because if there's one thing that Illinois has become known for, is becoming known for not being a business friendly state. And if we can make our individual counties more business friendly, eventually the whole state becomes more business friendly. Go figure.
Absolutely. And that climate really did change a few years ago. And we had talked to the state. We worked with the state quite a bit in the governor's office on creating incentive packages for businesses that were more competitive with, other states. And it really was, as some of the businesses said, it was a game changer. So
that's awesome.
I like to hear that.
That's awesome. So I'm on the growthdimensions.org website, and it's a beautiful website. Someone did a really good job on this.
Thank you.
Tell us, is there anything on here that you want to focus on? Sites and buildings, logistics, employment and workforce, incentives, business resources. Is there a key point that you really like to focus on when it comes to what Growth Dimensions does or wants to do?
Well, one of the things that we do is we provide incentives on behalf of the taxing bodies. We actually manage the Enterprise Zone program, in which is a program that, like I said, offsets costs for people that are looking to invest in their current properties or even look into new developing new buildings. So there are Enterprise Zone areas located in Belvedere, Boone County, Capron and Poplar Grove. And a lot of depending on what the business is planning on doing, it could reduce their cost for building permits in half. It could waive their sales tax and also abate their property taxes. So, and the amount depends on their investment, the company's investment. So we have really developed that program. And we've also connect businesses to other grants that are available. So we try to, connect them with other resources. We get weekly lists from states and local areas of resources and try to connect those resources with those businesses.
I'm scrolling down your list of things on here, Pam, and I'm gonna admit something that a realtor probably shouldn't admit. Scrolling down this thing, I'm looking at all this stuff. The only thing that I noticed on here that I really have any iota of understanding is the TIF district thing, the tax increment financing district. Everything else on here, I'm like, what? There's a lot going on here for incentives. So depending on the business you're in, you probably need someone like you to help describe where to go, what to do.
That's what we're here for. That's to answer questions, to help patients or direct them in the right place. We have like 27 to 30 different type of incentive programs that are, like I said, they're constantly changing and updating that information. And we're trying to become as knowledgeable as possible to make it easier for the businesses to apply.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
so,
bringing that money into the community is what we're trying to do in order to help us grow.
If a business wants to plug into your services and the stuff that you offer, is there a lot of fees involved? Is it a large cost? What's the situation there?
So we rely on funding we do get some funding through the Enterprise Zone program. There's a fee structure based on the building materials that they're improving in the community, but it's very minimal. Most of what we rely on is sponsorships for events or the investments from our public and private sector. And there's no minimum amount. And we do provide benefits. So, our smallest amount right now we have received has been $250, and then on up.
Okay.
So we really rely on that in order to help further what we do. We're a small team of 3, but we have worked smarter in our marketing and our geofencing. We've established a lot of relationships outside the community where, with brokers, with what we call influencers. Those are basically those people that represent the business in order to help guide them and provide them with that assistance. But a lot of it is, it's touch points. It's working with them. It's talking to them. It's marketing what our greatest assets are.
Okay. Awesome. Well, before we transition over to Dr. Katie and what she does, is there something now? Obviously, Northern Illinois, the Rockford area, we've become kind of known as a hub, a great logistics hub for the country. Is there something specific about Boone County that you tell businesses, hey, here's why you want to be in our county? Here's a big plus for deciding to put your business right here in Northern Illinois.
Okay, I love big cities, and I love Rockford, and I love Chicago area, but part of it is that being outside those cities, sometimes you don't have that cost. Some people don't want to deal with the traffic issues, but they want to have the access. So we're a centralized location, easy access right off the highway. We have a workforce that we can attract not only from Illinois and Northern Illinois, but we have many of our workforce coming from a 70-mile radius. So they're coming from Wisconsin, Indiana, and Southern Illinois to work here for good jobs. That is a great thing for our area. Also, our costs are lower to, for a lot of businesses that are looking to come here. So, and I think that we streamline. A lot of businesses tell me it's really difficult to work with some of the bigger cities because, it's just the policies, the processes, the fee structures are just overwhelming for them. And so we really are very centrally located and make things a lot easier for the end user. And that's our goal, is to make it more economical for them and make it a good investment. And we help them. They know that we're here for the long term. It's not just getting them here. We're here and we're committed to every business in our community to help them grow. And that's our goal. And we will try to help connect them with those resources. We're also their advocate. So we, have gone to the state and changed policies or a local area in order to make it a more business-friendly environment.
I've heard it said for most businesses, the 3 main things that businesses need are power, people, and water. And we are pretty abundant in those things in Northern Illinois. We have great water. We have great wells in the Northern Illinois area, which is, you don't think about it because it's underground. It's the underground wells that we have here. We have great water. We've got a decent power structure. We could use more. And then, of course, the people factor, that's something that can ebb and flow depending on where people go and the economy. And again, trying to make our region as business friendly as possible so people want to keep moving here. And we've already heard, you probably remember last year in April, they had that big article that came out how the Northern Illinois area was like the most affordable place to live in the United States. It was like at the top of the list.
Yes.
So we got that going for us. So
and we have great assets in the community. We have great agribusiness. We're the largest county outside of out of the state of Illinois for the county fair. Most attendance. We have wonderful apple orchards, and it's a wonderful place. And so I think a lot of people, will see the enthusiasm, and if they hear, people and champions in the community speaking about our community, it really does help.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that leads us to wanting to talk to Dr. Katie and about what you do. Katie, tell us a little bit about your business, Better Work Experience Inc. What's that all about?
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And I'll make sure to tie in a connection to how I met Pam and why we're even on this podcast together. But yeah, so I've been researching the millennial generation for over 11 years, and I've really dedicated my career to understanding what is truly driving this generation, this talent at work. And the reason being is, why am I doing this? Well, this is my generation. I'm 40 years old. I was born in 1985, but my generation, these are people born from 1980 to 2000. We make up 35% of the US workforce today. Okay, that's about 60 million people. We're 1/3 of all of working Americans. And yet many of, I'll say us, feel very stuck and unseen as like leadership material. And so through my PhD research, I discovered these 7 blind spots that are silently holding back ambitious millennials from executive level promotions. And so I founded Better Work Experience to really bridge that gap between incredible millennial talent and the corporations that are trying to lead them, really helping those purpose-driven professionals get promoted, and helping organizations unlock their full potential. And so my mission is to prepare 1 million millennials, that's just 1 in 60, to rise into executive leadership by 2035 so that we can transform the future of work. And that is what led me to meeting Pam. I joined a young professionals networking group here in Boone County, and Pam was a speaker. And I just loved her passion and her enthusiasm for bringing, more into our community and investing in the future careers for the professionals in this community, because we need it. We need more good paying jobs. We need more stable careers.
I want to bring up your website here real quick so everyone can see. betterworkexperience.com. We'll put this in the chat as well so it's easier to find. I think one of the I guess, for lack of a better word, one of the complaints I hear about the new generation of workers is the fact the people say, hey, these young people come in, they think they deserve management roles right out of college and are less willing to work their way up the ladder. Is there some validity to that attitude, or what are you seeing with the new generation of college graduates? And is this a bad perception, or is there actually some of that going on where like they're expecting a little too much coming out of school?
So I want to address something you just said, the new college graduates. So new college graduates are not actually millennials. I think millennials were, 10 years ago when I first started researching this generation, were seen as these up and coming new early career professionals. But we have like 10 to 15 years of business experience now, which I actually laughed at the young professionals networking group because, 20 years ago, young was not considered a 40-year-old, right? But millennials are still considered young. And it's true, actually, in my mind, I just turned 40, but I still feel like a baby. But to answer your question, I think the thing that I love doing the most is bridging that gap between the perception of millennials and also the perception that millennials have of their work environment. And I think there's a lot of disconnection there. And what my 7 blind spots does is help to bridge that gap. It really helps answer those questions that you have, Greg, like they expect to move up the ladder. Well, it's actually bigger than that. It's a bigger conversation around millennials want to have a variety of experiences, and they also have a lot of ideas and vision, and they're more adaptable for innovation, and they're actually the most culturally diverse generation of all time. And that makes us a lot more inclusive of ideas and values. And so when you go into a work environment that is very rigid and strict, it can feel like a bit of contrasting. And so I like to go and have those conversations with millennials who are like, hey, I love this company, I love where I live, but I'm feeling a lot of disconnect between me and my organization. I still want to move into leadership, or I still want to have a fulfilling career, but I'm having issues with navigating that. And so I help them achieve that. On the other side, organizations that have a lot of millennials, which is a lot of organizations right now, if you imagine, it's 36%, they're 36% of the work environment. They're saying, well, these people keep leaving, they're not being as productive as I want them to be, or I have to make a big change. How do I get these folks to come along with the change? Those are the kinds of conversations that I can help bridge through my research and my work and what I love to do.
That's needed.
If I could interject, there is a lot to unwrap here. And here's what I'd like to say. I love the mission. I love it because, like Greg, I kind of made the same mistake thinking that today's young kids, 25, 2025, are also millennials, but they're not. They're Generation X. Is that correct?
No, Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
Wait, what is Generation X? That's the one before then. I don't know. Anyway, what I find very, very interesting about your organization, what you're doing, is that this can have a domino effect where you can not only teach the millennials of your day, but you can also carry on that mission to affect the what do we call them again? Gen Zers?
Yes,
Z.
the younger generation.
Right, the younger generation. Am I correct on that they can learn from this as well? Because I heard a stat the other day. It said, and it's kind of a matter of opinion, I guess, but it says today's young people just graduating 18, 19, 20, 25, they're actually worse off with the economy and everything else than their parents were the very first time this has ever happened.
Yeah.
I make far more money than my dad did. My dad made far more money than his dad did. But my kids right now, some of them are struggling, and not in a bad way. I mean, they have jobs and this and that, but prices are so much higher. Houses are higher, groceries are higher, gas is higher. It's just the way of the world. So your organization, what you're doing, could help the Gen Zers of the world and then beyond. Am I correct in that statement?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, in an indirect way for sure. I think that there's a lot of, you made a good point. There's a lot of parts of our world, including the economy, that are in a bad way right now. And it really is going to take a Herculean effort to really uplift and innovate in so many industries across our country to really help America, be better and be a better place to work. And that's the work of the millennials. And that's why I'm so dedicated to this. I mean, people, there's so much work to do. And if you're a baby boomer, you're near retirement, you're in hobby land. There's still so many things that we need to fix as a country in our work environments and even across a global environment as well. And it's an overwhelming thing to think of. But we have the people power, we have the human ingenuity. It's just tapping into that and bridging the communication gaps in these work environments to make that innovation possible, to have better conversations about passing down, even better protocols for those younger generations. I mean, there's way too much technology going on in the daily lives of young people. And it's sad to see how isolating it is. And that's a big problem for millennials too, who post-COVID are, still in those remote jobs, and they get stuck in those silos inside of their organizations, and they're really not getting enough time to collaborate and feel seen and get visibility. And so there's a bigger issue going on around our increase in significance in technology use. But there's a lot of opportunity there. And that's why these conversations are really important. And for a long time, I was thinking, oh, nobody wants to talk about millennials anymore because, we've talked about them and, we're in the workforce now. But the more and more that I connect with clients, more and more that I'm working and learning about organizations and getting more and more involved with Boone County and learning about what's going on locally here in organizations. It's needed. It's a needed conversation. It's I think a very important mission and that's why I'm continuing to stay dedicated through my company.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, there's conversations that need to be had, and I'm so glad that you're facilitating them, because we all need to be understanding each other, our generations better and better. And there was a big push I don't know if that's still even a conversation anymore, but there was a big push for the 4-day work week. Remember that? There was a whole, that's all the 4-day work week. But I think the work from home thing, especially kind of COVID pushing that issue, might have kind of resolved that a little bit, because so many folks aren't needing to commute as much, or at least maybe at all. So that might have kind of solved that conversation a little bit. You might feel
Maybe.
Yeah, I think we got tired of each other as we sat at home and looked at each other all day long. Why don't you go to the store? Why don't you leave? I'm leaving.
but it
Yeah.
does remove some of that interaction that happens in office spaces and stuff between, and that, so that can be a negative as well. Have you found a best practice as far as workshops or seminars or some other type of a thing to get professionals interacting and sharing ideas more? Is there a format that you seem that is starting to like make sense for the to bridge the gap of the generation so that they work better together?
Yeah, it definitely starts with a conversation. And I think to have, like, if you're asking that question for the individual or for the organization, I think that's something I need to differentiate from. So where are you interested in from a business owner's perspective or from a worker's perspective?
Yeah.
Like if a company wants to bridge that gap, let's say, for example, if you're a business owner and you want to bridge the gap between generations or get people to collaborate more, you really need to understand, I would say, these things. First of all, if you have millennials in your workforce, you have to understand that purpose is retention. So you have to connect to the individual purpose of their job. What is the work that they're doing with what they are, what are their daily tasks? So for example, you have to connect the work to the mission. So imagine this, have you heard the story of the Three Masons?
The Three Masons. Refresh my memory on that one.
Okay, I'll invite you to close your eyes and imagine you're walking down the street. If you're driving, don't close your eyes.
Yeah.
You're walking down the street and you see three Masons. Okay. The first Mason, you ask, what are you doing? And she says, oh, I'm laying bricks. Then you ask the second Mason, what are you doing? And he says, I'm building a wall. And then you ask the third Mason, what are you doing? And she says, I'm building a cathedral.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the point that I like to bring home to business owners, is that the millennials, that third Mason, right? Everybody's laying bricks, right? They're all working together to build the cathedral, but the millennial needs to know what is the cathedral. And if you can connect that purpose to their work, their intrinsic motivating of those intrinsic feelings, that connection to that work is going to be amplified. The next thing is flexibility. You talked about working from home or being remote. That's flexibility. Millennials are parents, right? We've got little kids oftentimes. And so we really want to be better parents than our parents were, right? You said, Tom mentioned, we want to make more money than our parents did. But I think a really important value for employers to understand is family comes first for millennials. So can you create a hybrid environment that is flexible so that they can support their not only their family, but their own personal well-being?
Yeah.
So it's important to have that balance, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to
And that's something
recognize
in my
that.
generation we didn't have.
Right. And that's the Gen X, right? And so that's why millennials are really bridging the gap here to bring in the values that everybody is really calling for.
Yeah.
I have a few more, but I know we're on limited time. So if you want me to keep going, I can.
I just want to re-emphasize what you said. Purpose equals retention. We have a retention problem for most companies. And the reason most companies have that problem is they're not giving their employees that purpose, that buy-in, that ownership that makes them want to show up every day on time and ready to go and want to stay for years and accomplish the goals.
Yes.
It's huge. Purpose is
But let me connect a little bit more to that, because it's not the company that's giving them the purpose. It's the company that's co-creating the purpose with their people. So if you are just saying, okay, if you're in HR, you're in an executive leadership team, and you're like, okay, I heard on a podcast that we need to connect purpose so we can retain our millennials. Let me just add a little bit more to that for you so that you are a little bit more likely to be successful. Ask your employees why they're working there. Understand what their desires are and what about the work of that company is important to them, and how do they connect to the value that it brings to their community. And from there, then you have a very connected purpose that you can continue to communicate and to lean on and iterate on as missions change, as strategies change for the company. So there's so much opportunity there to bring in the purpose, but it's not a top-down thing. And I want to be really clear about that.
No, it's a challenge to give each employee that feeling of ownership, that feeling of I am fully invested in this because, you know, the task at hand, I can do and I can accomplish and I can feel good about completing it, and B, it leads to something bigger and better. Right.
Yes.
That's a big challenge for us all.
And it's not always about the pay. A good pat on the back, a good, hey, you did a great job today. I don't care what you're paying me. You tell me I did a great job, I'm like on the moon. So
proper recognition, all that stuff.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
But I will say, Tom, that might be true for your generation. But for millennials, that's actually not the case, because we talked about the really tough economy right now. One of the key factors to weaken the health and well-being of a millennial, not only millennials, but all of us, is not enough resources. And so if we're not making enough money to survive, we're picking up side jobs. We're picking up a gig. Remember, the big gig economy is going on right now and has been going on for the past 10 years. You know, we're scrappy, but we have to make enough money in order to survive, to feed our family, and to have great experiences with our family, and to take care of ourselves. Because right now, you can't live a healthy life if you're, you know, eating cheaply, right? Because we know cheap food is not, it's not fueling our bodies the way we need to. I mean, remember, millennials are we're the most educated generation of all time. So these are people who, and digital natives. So we've been consuming more information and more research than any generation before us. And that's a burden in some ways, because we know too much, right? We don't have the bliss of the early 1980s where, you know, you don't care if you're drinking hose water, right? Or you don't care if your kids are eating TV dinners every night, you know, but now we care about that because we know that's not good for our families. It's not good for our gut health. It's not good for the environment, right? You know, we know seed oils are bad. Seed oils are in everything, right? So you have to understand that the burden that the millennial generation holds as being these digital natives and as being, you know, parents, we do need to make great money because we got a lot of things to overcome. You got to have resources.
Very true. Very true. Well, I want to direct people to your Facebook page and your podcast, Dr. Katie Show. We've got the link in the chat for that, so you can check that out as well. And we're gonna wrap things up by promoting this event that you guys got coming up for Growth Dimensions, your 2025 annual reception coming up at the end of August here on Thursday night, August 28th. I'm a little bummed that's on an in-crowd night, but I'll forgive you.
Well, you can host it there.
If we only didn't have plans already, we'd all be good to go. So tell us, Pam, about the 2025 annual reception, and if people can see.
So we highlight what our activities and our impact has been for the last about 4 million square footage added, 6,000 new jobs, and 8.5 billion in investments. So this year we're going to update that information. And we also have a keynote speaker, Janice Fadden. She's the director of strategic engagement at the University of North Alabama's College of Business and Technical Agile Strategy Lab. So we know her as the former REDC president. So my counterpart in Rockford, she was the president for many years and brought a lot of new investments in that area. So she's coming back and she's speaking about the partnerships and the opportunities and how we need to put our strategies into action. So it's going to be a really awesome event. I'm looking forward to it.
I thought I recognized her name.
Yeah,
the,
bringing her home.
The event link, again, it's another Facebook link that is in the chat. So you can click right on it and go right to the Facebook page and get more information about the annual reception taking place here for Growth Dimensions on Thursday evening, August the 28th. All right. Is there anything else that we did not ask either one of you ladies about today that you wanted to make sure we touch on before we go about our weekend?
Well, I think we were talking about people get involved and to add on to what Dr. Katie was saying is that, you don't need to be part of the problem to be part of the solution, and get involved in your community, what your passion, to try to help others, try to help, develop the area. It could be broadband, it could be workforce, it could be, supporting your best organization. But I would just suggest, get involved.
Get involved. Get involved. That's a great place to stop right there. Check out, again, the links are in the chat for betterworkexperience.com, growthdimensions.org. And if someone is not in Boone County, but still does business in Boone County, you probably want to plug in to what's going on at Growth Dimensions and see what's going on. So I really appreciate your time today. And thank you so much for joining us here on the In Crowd 815 podcast. We'll look forward to catching up with you down the line again. Okay.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Right,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's get to our big number of the week. Tom.
Before we do that, let me just say, 485 billion popcorn chips? I've eaten that much over the years. So both. So.
Let's see here. You got your guess in texted earlier like you always do. So I need to change the score and save that like that. 495 billion, the big number this week. Popcorn or chips is the answer. And the popcorn story has to do with Marvel Studios and their popcorn bucket for the movie The Fantastic Four: First Steps. Have you heard about this?
Heard of it. Won't go see it.
No, it's
not a Marvel fan. Not a fan of comic books, movies, anything like that.
Let me see if this is going to pop up. Yeah, it is. I think I just got to get this big advertisement thing off the screen. There we go. All right. So get off the screen. Marvel Comics, Marvel Studios popcorn bucket for the movie The Fantastic Four is both the largest and most expensive of the increasingly elaborate marketing gimmicks that they're doing for these movies now. It's shaped like the movie's villain, Galactus. It has glowing eyes, LED eyes, holds 9 liters of popcorn, and it can be yours for the low price of
$495 billion. Let's hope not.
$80.
Yeah.
There it is right there. See, put it up on the screen. Look at this. Look at this popcorn bucket.
Wow.
Would you drop $80 for a popcorn bucket, Tom?
No, I would not.
I'm not doing that either. That's the thing right there. The themed popcorn bucket made by Marvel Studios to celebrate the release of Fantastic Four: First Steps. Huge.
They just don't want you coming up for refills.
Well, they're making these. They're making a bunch of them. There's 2019 is when they started doing this with R2-D2, celebrating Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Dune 2 had a big sandworm bucket. There was a Nosferatu's coffin container. All kinds of these crazy things. But anyway, that's what's going on. I don't know. You're getting the point. That's all I know. Chips.
Yeah, baby.
Intel. Remember those Intel commercials?
Different kind of chips.
Intel chips. They say recently this week, I guess they made the announcement. They're going to be letting go over 25,000 employees this year. They're on track to spin off or entirely offload 4 of their divisions. Once upon a time, the Intel company was worth $495 billion. It was one of the first 2 tech companies ever added to the Dow, and now it's turning into the blockbuster of the computer chips. I don't know why. Apparently it quit innovating, because apparently that's what happens to some of these companies, where they just stop innovating and they start shrinking. And it's like, somebody in these upper level management of these companies needs to start studying history a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't just sit in your current situation. You need to adapt.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of change for the sake of change. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. But like you said, you have to look 5 years into the future. I got a cool story here. My mom used to work for something. It was a division of Camcar, which is a local manufacturer. And the places she worked was SEMS, SEMS, no longer in business. But back in the early 80s, when they started noticing car manufacturers leaving and this and that, they were making screws for cars. They started to retool. And then they started making machine parts or screws or whatever for other businesses. And it sustained them for another 20 years or so, because they made that adjustment. And that's what you have to do. If you don't do it, you're going to be, laying off 25,000 people like Intel.
Well, look what happened to Kodak. They could have been something special if they'd have got into the cell phone thing. We could be instead of Samsungs and Apples, we could be holding Kodak phones right now if they had seen what was coming and said, "Oh, we need to adapt."
It could have been a contender.
It could have been a contender. It would have been
Kodak phone.
Totally could have happened. Totally could have happened. But anyway, so you get the point. We're tied at 2, and there you go for our big number of the week. I already mentioned next week we have Xavier Whitford from the Tommy Corral Memorial Foundation joining us, and Addie Ford from Barnstormer Distillery. They're going to be hosting our next in-crowd 815 networking event last Thursday of the month up there at Barnstormer Distillery. I want to shout out real quick Mactown Construction and thank them for hosting the July in-crowd. We had a great event at Mactown Construction this past Thursday night. I couldn't stay for the whole thing because I'm still in this thing called The Wedding Singer. We have 2 more performances. If you're watching this live, you got a chance yet to catch Wedding Singer at Starlight Theater tonight and Sunday night at 8, and then it's done forever. Forever.
So you're good to go on Thursday for trivia, right? And what about Wednesday?
Maybe. I might need to help out at Starlight because Mary Poppins takes the stage. And volunteers are needed for that in different areas. So I might be needed there. You
and your lovely wife, Christy, are invited to both Wednesday night and Thursday night.
We'll be back eventually. I just don't know exactly when yet.
Okay. All right. I always appreciate it when you guys show up. Anyway, moving on.
But kudos to Mactown Construction for hosting this. They did a great event and everyone had a great time for that. Also, kudos real quick to Michelle and Tam at Good Day State Line. They had our bunch of our Wedding Singer cast on their show this week to help promote the show. We had a chance to sing on their show and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoy what they do at Good Day State Line. And then kudos once again also to the Rockford Rivets. They had a great celebration this last weekend, Saturday night, and they're doing it a big party for Rally, their mascot. I think their birthday party for Rally the mascot is this weekend. So your last chance to catch a Rivets game is really this next week, and then they're done. So if you haven't gotten out there yet for a Rivets game, get out there tonight or tomorrow afternoon or this week. There's like 5 more games, and that's it.
All right. So let me know when you're going, and I may join you.
All right.
I may join you.
The plan is to be out there tomorrow, but I probably won't only be able to stay for the first few innings. I probably won't be able to stay for the whole game.
I may take the boys out there.
It's a fun time, isn't it? We went out there. We had a good time.
We certainly did. Hey, I got a question for you. I don't know if it's like if you even have an answer, but Rally, the mascot, he was going around doing all of his things. The gal that was with him followed him everywhere. Any idea why?
Probably because he can't see too well out of that costume.
That might be it. Because when I went to give Rally a high five. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Wow, my fist is as big as my head. Ah! Anyway, when I went to give him a fist bump, it took him a second to catch on, and then he went like that. So it's all good.
Okay, that's not what I was looking for. Tomorrow is Sock Monkey Appreciation Day. So they're going to be playing not as the Rockford Rivets, but as the Screw City Sock Monkeys. And
Wow.
the first 100 fans through the gate will get a free Sock Monkey noggin.
Huh.
Thanks to the Sock Monkey Museum. So that's
what is it? What is a noggin? A head?
It's just
Sock
the
monkey
head
head?
part of the Sock Monkey. Yeah.
Okay.
What's a noggin? It's just the head part. They're like cute, soft baseballs with Sock Monkey faces that you can toss around.
Oh, you know what? And what time's the game start?
It's a 1:05 first pitch, so you're going to want to be there when the gates open at like noon.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
I could probably do that. I'm going golfing at 4, so it'd be a long day, but that's okay. I'd like to take the boys to that.
They're Sunday 1:05 pitch, yeah, against the Kalamazoo Growlers. That's right, the Growlers.
Can you hear the dogs going on in the background?
They're muffled, but I can hear them. Yeah.
Is that why I saw you muted me? Is
I
that
muted
why?
you for a minute. I muted you for a minute at the last part of the conversation. I sure did.
Was that because of that?
Because yeah.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is I'll tell my son, keep Sadie quiet. You know, she just does nothing but bark.
Well, you got those squirrels out front. You know, it's hard not to bark at those squirrels.
Nah, they're in the basement. We got a finished basement. They're down there, so she can't see the squirrels.
Well, that takes care of all of our business this week, my friend. Anything? What else? I know you wanted to touch a little bit on Packer stuff, maybe.
I did Packer stuff, and also this here. I ordered my jersey. I'm a huge Caitlin Clark fan.
Caitlin Clark,
number 22. My left hand does not work, so this doesn't. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Number 22, Indiana, and it says here. You can't see it, but it says from the logo. That's it. From the logo. Boom.
Oh.
All right. So Caitlin Clark. For anybody who's familiar with the WNBA, and if you're not, I'll explain. I love Caitlin Clark because she was an absolute bona fide superstar coming out of college. She led Iowa to 2 Final Fours in her junior and senior year, and they darn near beat, was it South Carolina? I believe it was South Carolina. Dawn Staley was the head coach. They darn near beat them. This is last year before, whatever.
Her junior year, yeah.
No, her senior year, because she's now 2 years into
that's right.
the
You're
WNBA.
Right.
So early on in the WNBA last year, she got absolutely blasted into the out of bounds line. She was waiting for the ball to come in by Kennedy Carter, I don't know, for the Chicago Sky. And Angel Reese, say what you want about her, I can't stand her. She jumps up off the bench and starts clapping and going, yeah. There's no call for that. There was no technical foul. There was no punishment whatsoever for Angel Reese. For Kennedy Carter did get a technical foul. She did. So Caitlin Clark shot 2 free throws. One of the reasons why Caitlin Clark's been injured so much over the last couple of years is because she's getting beat up. That doesn't fly in college. You don't get to go up and forearm somebody, poke them in the eye. You don't get to blast them and give them a hip check. And they go, oh, no, I didn't do anything wrong. But what's happening is the WNBA, who can't see the forest through the trees, doesn't get it. She is your cash cow.
I gotta believe they will sooner than later, because they
will when Caitlin Clark decides, you know what, I'm done, I'm out, and all of a sudden attendance starts dropping again. What is the saying? A rising tide raises all boats. Well, they're dining in 5-star restaurants. They're staying in 5-star hotels. They're traveling first class. They're selling out arenas wherever Caitlin Clark is. And guess what? Some of the other arenas, because of Caitlin Clark's influence, because the WNBA has now been put on the map, has been sold out in a lot of arenas. Most of them, though, are when Caitlin Clark comes there. Okay, so that should be, to anybody who has even an ounce of business sense, should be able to see that, hey, there's something here. What is it? Is it the new uniforms? Is it the better popcorn and hot dog prices? Is it? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe it's this girl.
Maybe it's Caitlin
Little
Clark.
Miss Caitlin Clark. Maybe it's her. So I went out and bought myself a jersey. And on the back, it's really cool. It doesn't say Clark. I noticed nowhere on here it says Clark, but it's 22 and it's Indiana Fever. And that's fine because then I can explain, oh, that's Caitlin Clark's jersey. Oh, well, who's Caitlin Clark? And then I can give my little spiel. It won't take as long as it did here. Okay, so now here's what's making me mad. And this came out after I ordered the jersey. I saw Caitlin Clark wearing one of those shirts that says, pay us what we're worth. That makes me mad. You know why? Because the WNBA loses $40 million per year. They've been in the league now. This is their 30th year. 40 million times 10 is 40 million is 400 million times another 10, 800 million times another 10, 120, $1.2 billion is what the WNBA has lost over the last 30 years, 29 years, but this is, I believe, their 30th year. $1.2 billion. So pay us what we're worth? No. If you're not putting butts in the stands. Now, give it 5 years. Give Caitlin Clark 5 more years, and they will start making money, and they will cut into that $1.2 billion. But right now, there is absolutely no reason whatsoever. They have no business wearing shirts that say, pay us what we're worth. Now, how does this tie in? It ties in because of this. This has been a concerted effort. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not. I don't believe that, but I do in this case, because you know it's true. The general managers of teams, the coaches of teams, the league president, the CEO of the league, nobody is addressing these technical fouls that are, nobody's addressing. Oh, hi, honey. I'm on my podcast. I'll be out in a second. All right, baby.
We're going long again, Kathy. Sorry.
Well, she was knocking. This is my daughter. She just came over. She wanted to say hi. So anyway, nobody's addressing this at the top levels, and this is what's making people mad. This is why they're losing money. They want to keep in their own little clique, but guess what? Your own little clique isn't going to make any money. You have to expand. Let Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. Let her be the face of the thing, and just say,
and let all those boats rise. Let all the boats rise, because there's some great talent. There's some exceptional talent on the basketball court with all these teams.
There is, but when you get somebody like an Angel Reese, who I cannot stand. She's not that good of a ball player. Watch her do layups. She'll miss it and grab a rebound, miss it, grab a rebound, miss it, grab a rebound. I saw a clip where she had 5 shots at the basket, grabbed 4 rebounds out of it, finally made the shot. There's 4 rebounds. No wonder she's getting double.
She's doing something right. She's good at something.
Well, she's good at missing, and then you get a rebound off of that. I don't think that should count. You shouldn't be able to get your own rebound. It shouldn't count. So anyway, that's why I'm supporting Caitlin Clark, but I'm a little mad at her right now. I'm going to do some more research on it. So say what you want. What's that?
I want to say the WNBA is adding, I think, 2 teams next year, a year after that, another team a year after that. So they've already got growth plans going on.
Yeah, I believe they got 13 teams right now, and they're going to have 15 or 16 teams before. Yeah, 16, 17, 18. And that's fine. I hope the league flourishes, but by God, take care of your own. Don't allow, and they kept her off the Olympic team too. The girl's leading the league in points. The girl leading the league in, she was the first one ever to have a triple double. And she had 2 last year, and I think she's had 1 this year. What are you missing here? You're not missing it. You're not accidentally missing it. You're deliberately missing it. So for that reason alone, you can go bye-bye WNBA. Otherwise, I don't want that to happen. I don't. I want you to succeed, but I want you to do the right thing.
Yeah. It's it's a challenge. It's a growth thing, and hopefully they figure it out sooner than later. Because if they don't figure it out soon enough, things could fall apart. Like you said, there could be another league that forms. There could be a reason to go play in Europe. I mean, the top talent might not want to stay here. They might go somewhere else and play. So
yeah. Well, Caitlin Clark already said last year she might go to Spain, and she might just stay in the Italian league or whatever it is over there.
Right.
She might go over there and play European league in Europe. Is basically what
all different leagues, and have just enjoyed it.
And you know what? She'll be a big draw there, so they'll pay her more. She's making $75,000 a year for what she's bringing to the end. She could wear the shirt. Pay me what I'm worth. But pay us what we're worth. No, I think what she's doing, I think she's trying to ingratiate herself in with the crowd. She's trying to be the olive branch, trying to be the bridge, if you will, between and maybe. So I'm going to give her a little leeway on that one, and I'm going to wear my Caitlin Clark jersey proud today. All right, so give me about 5 minutes if you can, or 10 minutes more if you don't mind, but I want to get out there and say hi to my daughter before she leaves. I just wanted to say the Green Bay Packers are looking pretty doggone good in practice right now. And I know it's practice, and you're going up against your own defense and this and that, but Matthew Golden is unbelievable.
He's looking really good.
Oh, he is. He is. Oh, he's good. And Jordan Love, I've heard some interesting stuff about Jordan Love. Think about it last year. He was here. We talked about this last week. We'll reiterate for a second here. Jordan Love had injuries mostly all last year. He also led the league in dropped passes. Guess what? That's not on Jordan Love.
That's not on him. He was making.
He had 11 interceptions, and just like every quarterback, you can go back and look, and you're going to get tipped balls. You're going to get passes. He had one went through, I want to say, Tucker Kraft's hands. Then it went through Bo Melton's hands, and then into a Vikings hand.
And Wicks.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, there was a lot of drops.
There were a lot of drops, but that was an interception that got charged to Jordan Love. He's putting that ball in spots, and they're getting picked because one of his picks was a pick six against. They actually won the game. It was against Houston, maybe, but they won the game anyway. He was shielded by his running back, or by Zach Tom, and he went and he was trying to throw the ball out of bounds. The guy grabs it and runs it in. Okay, fine. That's another one. He had about 6 interceptions, or maybe 7, that were actually legitimate bad throws that he could be held accountable for. Add to that, Matt LaFleur getting very conservative and running the daylights out of Josh Jacobs. You can't do that. You will burn him out in 2 years. You cannot do that.
He's strong. He's great.
Oh, he's good right now, but he won't be after a couple of years. Just ask Earl Campbell how that worked out for him back in the 70s. He lasted about 8 years in the league, and he couldn't even walk when he left. Most running backs will tell you that. Back then, he was a bruiser, just run over people and all. He was one of the greatest running backs ever. I mean, Barry Sanders was great because he was just like a little cockroach running around.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hard to catch. But anyway, so the Packers are shoring up their defensive line. They're really working with LVN, Lucas Van Ness, and they said this might be the year that he breaks out. Third year in the league. I believe it's his 3rd season. And he is looking very good. And I mean, what does that mean? It's subjective. Well, you think he's looking very good. I still think he's not good. Whatever. They have so many opportunities on that defensive line and so many opportunities on that offensive line. And they got 2 good receivers. So their receiving core is going to be better. They moved Bo Melton to cornerback. He is now officially a cornerback. But what's good about it is that if they needed a receiver, he can come right in and be a receiver.
True.
He can come right in and be a receiver. So they've got he can serve 2 purposes. So this is amazing. And the running back situation, we still have Emmanuel Wilson, who I love that guy. He is very good.
And they just brought in another guy.
They did. I don't remember who it was.
He was with the 49ers, and I think with the Giants. Is Ismail something with a long?
Yes, Israel something or other. Yes, you're right.
Competition.
And then they also have Marshawn Lloyd, who got injured again. So maybe he's not going to work out. I don't know. Yeah. But they say he looks really, really good. So
there was a game Thursday night, wasn't there? The Hall of Fame.
There was. I believe Detroit got their butts kicked.
I saw nothing of it.
The San Diego Chargers, I know they're the LA Chargers now, but I'm still calling them San Diego. It was like 37-7 or 34-7. I'm actually going to watch the game. I taped it. I was doing.
I didn't even see the highlights anywhere.
I was in Dixon on Thursday. I had a trivia gig in Dixon, and then last night I had a trivia gig in Seward. I'm all over. I'm a world traveler. I'm like
bouncing around.
Yeah, I'm like Susan. I'm a world traveler.
Midwest trivia all over the place.
Oh man!
I want to put on the screen real quick our countdown clock, and you know what this is right here.
Absolutely.
The next mass karaoke trivia contest is coming up in 103 days, 10 hours, 20 or 103 days, 10 hours, 20 minutes, and 30 seconds. Look at that. How exciting is that?
Yeah, there you go.
And a
There
big
you
time
go.
thank you to Medicare 411 for sponsoring our $5,000 grand prize. The winning team will win $5,000 for their chosen not-for-profit. And we're doing it again with 12 teams, this time at the Tabala Event Center on November 13th. In probably about 2 weeks, I don't have a date set yet, but in about 2 weeks, we will be out there releasing the signups for teams to be a participant in the next mass karaoke trivia contest. So be on the lookout for that, especially if you are a not-for-profit or a business that supports a not-for-profit. We will get that out there shortly. The other thing I wanted to share real quick was that was that. One of our celebrity judges for the mass karaoke trivia contest, the one and only Mark Henderson, who's doing Mark's a weather hub on Facebook now.
Okay.
I know you're not a big Facebook user, so you're not following along.
I'm not even on it, period.
Mark Henderson's weather hub. Since leaving WIFR, he started his own thing on Facebook. It's going really great. He's going to be one of our celebrity judges, and we're going to have him on the show here at the end of the month to talk about what he's doing with his weather hub. And I'm looking forward to catching up with Mark Henderson on the podcast here. So that's coming up.
Yeah. Sorry about the dog. I'll make sure that this doesn't happen next week. I have no idea why she's been barking. I think Matt and Brittany might have left, and she's downstairs. So
there's a page for Mark's weather hub right there.
Oh, cool. Cool.
It's really sharp. He's doing a good job.
I wonder what he's doing then. I'm sure he probably got some sort of a severance package from IFR, but
looking for some
any of my business. I'm just curious.
He's looking for new opportunities. I do know that much. So,
well, good for him, because I understand business. I understand how it works, but come on,
it stinks.
Well, sometimes I think it's unnecessary. It's just like us getting furloughed from the radio station. Yeah, I said it. There's no reason for that. There's no safer place to be than the glass that separates us. I mean, come on. It was a money thing, and I don't care if they hear it. Doesn't matter.
It was a lame thing.
It was. But I'm enjoying the heck out of this, dude. This is
going well. This is definitely going well. All right, I mentioned already next week, Xavier Whitford, Tommy Corral Memorial Foundation, and Addie Ford from Barnstormer Distillery. We've got some things to talk about next week, and please check out our website at incrowd815.com for all things InCrowd. All right, we've gone long again, but not as long as the last one. So we'll.
One suggestion for you: why don't you call Jake? And since we've kind of morphed into all things. What is it? Non-for-profit. All things non-for-profit. So Jake wouldn't necessarily fit in, but maybe if we could do like a Thursday afternoon podcast, if Jake could, Packer preview, and we could play it while we're doing this, after it or whatever, or just it could be there just for people to watch, and I will lead people to it.
We'll have to see if he's got some time before the season kicks off. We'll see.
Yes, I would love to do that.
Get these preseason games under the belts, and the rosters set, I think, is probably more, an important thing to do, so we can really make some decision.
I'm thinking a couple of weeks before, so like maybe middle of August or something would be cool. I don't know. I'm just thinking,
All right.
So.
Well, you go and do your thing there, and I'm going to go and do my thing. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, you change the world when you help one person. So be a blessing to someone today and every day this week. We'll meet you back here next week for another InCrowd 815 podcast. Thank you, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Pam. And thank you, Katie, for joining us today.
815 InCrowd. 815 InCrowd.